Ah, welcome back, Indi-Pendants. As you know, this is the place where we keep things simple. Sometimes because we are smart, sometimes because we are just not in the mood for that extra effort. And to be honest, who has the energy to punch dough after a long day of work, family, whatever you have going? Today, I'm making my no-knead bread. Calm, easy, and absolutely zero wrestling with dough. If you can steer, you've already mastered 90% of this recipe. Follow me into the kitchen. Let's get started. Are you coming? Much warmer in here. Winter is here for sure. So, I'm glad you joined me so I can show you my no-knead bread. And let me show you what else you need. Not much. Let's go. So, welcome to my kitchen. Small, but efficient. Let me prepare what we need, and then I will be right back. So, this is all we need. You should have a bowl with a lid big enough for the amount of flour you put in, because it will double up somewhat, but it should double up easily. So you can also have just a bowl and some cling foil on top, some plastic, but it needs to be covered overnight, right? So a bowl with a lid is ideal. This is mine. You need, of course, flour, you need salt, and you need yeast. That's all you need, besides water. So 4 ingredients. And once you are used to that and you have a little routine built up, you will need like 10 minutes to prepare everything, including cleaning up the next day. The rest is done by time and gravity. It's so simple. Nowadays when you go grocery shopping, I just did that. And I came home with like $300 bags and there was hardly anything in it. So if you would need to buy bread for meanwhile $10 and up, you will love making your own bread and you'll be proud of it. This will be a bread with a little bit more body to it and a solid crust. Okay, so if you're liking that, that's fine. Let's start. So, I don't measure at all. I do have my measurements, but I'm talking about like cups and parts, and I'm not saying you need like 500 grams, 300 milliliters water and stuff like that. Whatever you have is working. So a cup, a different cup, or a measuring cup, whatever you use, the main thing is you're using always the same for the flour and the water. The reason is you need like 3 cups of flour. It is the most important thing is the ratio of flour and water. So you need 3 units of flour. And I'm doing this in real time. 1, 2, and I love to mix it with wheat flour, so you can play around with this recipe whatever you want to do, but stick with the basic for now. So once you have a routine, then you have an understanding how everything works, and then you can play around with it, add your herbs, add, I don't know, some onions and bacon even, and compensate with a liquid. I like to mix mine with wheat flour. That gives a little bit of a sourdoughy taste, which I like. So this is, I think, barely 1 cup. So not quite a cup, but that's fine. This is my well-used spoon, as you can see. So you take it, when you mix it, you take the handle of it and give it a quick stir, just to make sure that it's not all limping on one side. I did buy open yeast, so that's like a 500 gram yeast package or so. So I opened it and put it in this jar, and you need 1 teaspoon yeast first. It equalizes 1 pouch of those, which is 7 gram. So, but I have the open one, so 1 teaspoon will do it. You put that in first and you stir it again. The reason is the flour is coating the yeast and is protecting it from the salt you put in right after that. Otherwise the salt might attack and destroy the yeast. So just stir it with your handle again. And now you can add salt to your liking, but you should add at least 1, the same teaspoon. I like mine a little bit more generous, so I put in 1.5. Give it a quick stir again. Same cup, your same measuring unit from the beginning where you put the flour in, I'm using now for the water. Even though this is a measuring cup, I didn't measure, I just have it here to drag it over here. So the ratio is 3 cups of flour and 1.5 to 2 cups of water. So let's start with 1.5. So you put that in and just half. It needs to be lukewarm water, and then you stir it again with your handle. So far there's nothing to it. Just mix it. If you have the feeling it's too dry, then you can add some water. It should look almost like a rough solid pudding. So mine is a little bit dry, so I can add another half cup. And you can't do anything wrong really. If you did put in too much liquid, then you just add a tablespoon of flour again or so. And there's no kneading, there's no nothing, no hard solid work. Just make sure that you put in all the flour, and this is already it. This is how it should look like. You know, it's coming almost off. It has some lumps, which is totally okay. Very good. So this is how it should look like. And it's coming down, as you can see. One more time to the other side. If you still have some dry lumps in there, it does not matter. So you close the lid. I like to cover it on top of that just because it looks stylish, but you don't have to. So, you take that away, push that over here, and you're done for tonight. The rest will happen tomorrow morning or whenever you can, but it should stay at least 2 to 4 hours in the same room at room temperature. Or what I like to do is let it stand overnight, and we will come back tomorrow and finish your first bread. So, good morning and welcome back. The dough was parked overnight, and it was resting and proving, and now we will see the results. This is how it should look like. Okay. Sorry for the lighting here, but it's an old cabin, so it's sometimes dark. So the next step will be that I'm using my 4.5 liters cast iron Dutch oven. You need to have something with a lid. Using the lid is creating and keeping the moisture inside and is giving that nice crunchy crust. So any container which is oven proof with a lid will work, so you don't have to have a Dutch oven. But having a Dutch oven, I use some oil so that I eliminate the risk of basically sticking anywhere, so it's coming out easier. Just use your hands and bring it around. You don't have to have a towel or anything like that. No paper towel with a cast iron. You will have too many paper pieces inside. It's too rough. So just use your hands like this and bring it around. You don't have to be precise really. So that is already it. So the next step is you have to, where is it? You have to sprinkle a coat, a layer of flour over your dough. So that is already maybe enough. No, it wasn't. Of course not. So you just sprinkle it, cover it completely, not too much, but make sure it's all over. Then my well-used spoon with the handle again. You just go into the middle and start twisting it, and you will see it all comes together. And once it does, you just pour it into your pot. Don't be too quick, otherwise you have flour all over your floor. It looks like a spider web a little bit, but this is what you get, and you just pour that in your pot. I have some leftovers which I scrape off the rim, or the side, not the rim. Put that on top. come on here. And there you have it. So I'm a friend of vintage look, so I like to add some flour on top. So just with a little thingy like this, generously cover it with flour. Put the lid on and put it in your stove with the light on for 40 minutes. Just let it proof and rest. It was a little bit of stress to turn it around and change from one container to another. So let it sit in your oven with a light on. That is enough heat to have it a little bit nice and proof for 40 minutes. And then we will be coming back right away. So, I did set the timer to 40 minutes, and all we need to do right now is basically cleaning up a little bit. And here's one important hint to avoid some stressed out situations. So if you clean up, use cold water and cold water only. The reason is you will have some dough leftovers in your bowl and on your wooden spoon. And if you use hot water, the dough is basically baking on, and that is not good, so you scrape more. But with cold water, no issue at all. Or you just let it sit for an hour or two as long as it needs to dry out, and then you basically just scrape it off. Once it's dry, it's falling just off. Okay, so let's clean, and I'll be right back after 40 minutes. So the dough was resting for 40 minutes in the stove with the light on. Now you just turn it on without preheating to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 230 degrees Celsius, and bake it for 1 hour. And we will come back when the bread is ready. So, it's almost an hour. The bread is done soon. 1 more minute or two. And it smelled so good throughout the entire house. It's unbelievable. There is nothing better than that smell, and later on that success. Beautiful look and the taste with fresh baked bread and a little bit of cold butter. Nice. Meanwhile, I would recommend to have something like a cooling rag, cookie rag, or whatever it is to put the bread on it so you don't have moisture build up underneath and it can cool down properly. The bread is ready. Oh, it's getting there. Look at this. Look at it. And that is what I meant. I like it old style and old fashioned, a little bit vintage with some flour on top. It's so nice. So we set it there, enjoy the smell, and let it cool down for an hour or two. The longer the better. And we will come back when we cut it. So try a slice. So, finally, it has been 2 hours that I took out the bread and let it cool down. Time to see the inside. The way I cut it is I cut it in half, so I don't have such big slices. Ah, look at this. Look at this. Nice and beautiful. To keep it fresh, I tip one part over and I slice this way and push it against each other. So you will always have a nice fresh cut line and it won't dry out or being soggy when you put it in a plastic bag. So all you need to do is basically put a dish towel on top, unscent please, otherwise you might ruin the taste of it. Just like that. And there is nothing better than fresh bread and a little bit of cold butter. Look at this. This is amazing, and it brings a smile into your face because you've baked it by yourself with 4 ingredients. It's so good. It's beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you are you're trying it out and you play around with it a little bit, collect some experience. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. And thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to like, and enjoy your new baking career. See you later.